Clouds beginning to dissipate here at McKeon Park as we're a couple of moments away here from the Hyannis Hard Rocks taking on the Chatham Anglers here, joined alongside Jack Heffer, Abe Sustick, and Jack. Hyannis trying to take on the Chatham Anglers tonight as they're on a 2-game losing skid after losing to Brewster here at home and to the Falmouth Commodores yesterday. Kind of a heartbreaking fashion for Hyannis yesterday. 3-3 tied up as they head to the bottom of the 8th inning in a 4 spot put on by Falmouth. So they'll try to find their way and push themselves a little bit closer as get to it. They did lose yesterday to Bourne, but then Bourne ended up winning. So Hyannis loses a little ground in the chase for third and second place in the West, but Katua doesn't gain any ground on them. But this is still a major test for them, going up against a struggling Chatham team that they want to keep struggling for them to get ahead.
Yeah, this is the perfect contest for Hyannis to break out of their 2-game skid. And Chatham, they have lost 6 out of the last 7 games. They're 2-9-1 since Hyannis has faced them, and they're batting 150 as a team. So this is exactly what Hyannis needs to rebound and get back into the win column. You'll see 2 tough games, Chatham and then Bourne tomorrow, both at McKeon Park. So Hyannis, they can go. They've got one more week until the All-Star game, and it's a key week for them if they want to make any grounds in the standing. And it starts here tonight against a struggling Chatham team, like you've said.
And Jack, we mentioned before for Hyannis, the entire year they have had their struggles when it comes to hitting the ball. They found their ways early on in the first inning, to say, against Falmouth, where they scored a couple of runs and they found a little more later on, but then it just turned into pitching. You realize, I think, how far Matt Naylor can go in the game. He went 2 2/3 inning, and that's really, I think, is the stopping point for him. And you had James Harrington. It's just an unfortunate spot you had there for 2 of your all-star pitchers.
Yeah, Naylor was he was hung out there to drive for a while. I mean, he came out in 3 different innings. He's not used to that at all, especially up here. And on the other side, Harrington, you're going to have a bad outing once in a while. You're going to miss a pitch. And Falmouth punished them. I mean, they had 3 home runs, 3 big home runs. And Falmouth pitching down the stretch just proved why they were the best pitching team in the West and the second best pitching team in the league behind Harwich. So, I mean, when you have that strong of a pitching and that good of a pitching staff, that deep of a bullpen, and you're in a tight game like that, pitching down the stretch matters. And Hyannis, in the last 2 games, their bullpen has really gotten knocked around. It's been their strongest point all season, but you can see as the season prolongs and as we get closer and closer to that final regular season game, this bullpen maybe is getting a little bit tired of carrying this team through games.
Hyannis will be looking for their first win after going on a 2-game losing skid. They stand in here at 13-17, and we'll see how they fare against the Chatham Anglers. Up next, as we take a break for the national anthem, and we'll be right back here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We welcome you back in here to McKeon Park. Clouds are slowly moving out as before. They were really crowding over here in Hyannis, but blue sky is showing. The sun is shining here on a late Sunday afternoon here. The Hyannis Hard Rocks taking on the Chatham Anglers, who sit at 11-18-1, fifth in their division. And fighting for not to have the worst record on Cape there with the Catuit Kettleers. It'll be Andrew Gonzalez on the mound here, the Michigan State Spartan for the Hyannis Harbrox. His last game, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts for him. That was in a 2-1 no decision to the Catuit Kettleers, Jack. And he will have an opportunity to face, we mentioned before, an absolutely struggling Chatham Anglers team, especially on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned earlier hitting a $150 since they've faced Hyannis, and Hyannis, the offense has loved this Chatham pitching staff. I mean, they've scored 19 runs in 2 games against Chatham, so we'll see if Hyannis can continue it here tonight. The hitting has been pretty consistent as of late. It's just been, as we mentioned, the later innings in the bullpen for Hyannis, and we'll see if Gonzalez can come out and give a good start here for the Harbor Hawks. He's struggled a little bit in a few of his starts early on, giving up some big hits, and for Gonzalez, it's just about avoiding that big inning of work. I mean, he's pitched very well in all of his games, except you usually see one inning where things just end up blowing up in his face. So we'll see if Gonzalez can hold on to it and get a good outing here against a struggling hitting team in Chatham.
Defensively for Hyannis, Chris Hudgens will be behind home plate, Dylan Busby at third, Rutherford at short, Proctor at second, Henry at first, and then left to right in the outfield, Rogers, Netzer, and Zyla, as Jake Polomaki steps in here in the left-handed batter's box. He's followed by Stuart Fairchild, Tanner Gardner, the DH, Jordan Romero, Patrick Mathis, Sean Bouchard. And the first pitch is called down low for a strike for Gonzalez. Jeremy Vasquez, John Aiello, and DJ Artist in the 9 spot for the Chatham Anglers. 0-1 pitch for Gonzalez, and that one misses inside down low. Gonzalez, as we mentioned, his stats from his last start, a lot of highs and lows that he reached in that last start for his career, as that one catches the upper corner. His last start, most innings pitched, least amount of hits, tied for the least amount of earned runs, most walks, and least amount of strikeouts in his starts. As that one is a slow chopper over to Proctor. He gathers it, has to make a quick throw over, but the speed of Polomaki reaches first base.
And that's what you get out of Polomaki. He's really quick down the line out of that left-hander's batter's box, and he beats out an infield single here.
So Polomaki steps on first now, lead off base runner here in the top of the first inning. And now Stuart Fairchild, the center fielder, will step in here to face Gonzalez. Here's pitch first one, and a foul tipped right out of the glove in front of Hudgens.
Polomaki definitely a dangerous man on the base pass. He only has 3 stolen bases this year for the Anglers, but he had 19 back at Boston College.
The pitch from Gonzalez, but first he'll throw over to first to keep Polomaki close. Gonzalez sets at the belt once again. Next pitch, and that one misses the upper corner of Fairchild for a 1-1 count. Gonzalez sets once again. Polomaki goes, swing and a miss, throw over to Proctor, and it misses his glove, and he'll trickle out into center field as Polomaki will also take third, and he puts himself 90 feet away from scoring.
And there's a good throw from Hudgens behind the dish, but Proctor just couldn't come up with a scoop. Netzer was really slow to start out in center field. He wasn't backing up. So that ball just kind of trickles out into no man's land. Polomaki comes all the way around to third. And now, first run of the game, sits on third base with no outs here in the first.
1-2 for Gonzalez. He deals, and that one is fouled over the netting by Fairchild. A prime opportunity, though, here for Chatham. As their last 8 road games, they are 0-8. 10 runs scored in those 8 games and have been shut out 3 times. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss upstairs by Fairchild, and he goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning.
Fairchild, 17 strikeouts on the season now, has really struggled down the stretch. Much of this Chatham lineup has, except this man right here who's recently come up to the Cape in Tanner Gardner.
Tanner Gardner, the DH, tonight out of Texas Tech. Only has been in 8 games, but he's 8 for 23. Swings in that one by Gonzalez for a first called strike. Over 1,000 OPS at Tech, batted .379. Lefty against Gonzalez. The 0-1 pitch misses way outside.
Yeah, not a guy that you really want to give anything over the plate to, as he's been smoking the ball up here, hitting .348. Already has 5 RBIs on the year on 8 hits. Another RBI opportunity here.
Foul tipped by Gardner, and he'll be at a 1-2 count. Talk about coming up on your first day in the Cape, a walk-off grand slam against Wareham on July 6th. Faces a 1-2 count, though, here for Gonzalez. A man still at third in Palomaki. Gonzalez deals, and that one's lined right back up the middle over second base. A base runner will score in Palomaki, and it's 1-0 Chatham.
And Gardner with 2 strikes, he does exactly what he needs to do. He puts the ball on the ground, just smacks it right where it was pitched. Down the middle. Ends up with an RBI single and a 1-0 lead for Chatham here early.
10th run scored for Palomaki and the 6th RBI for Gardner already. And Chatham coming out early to a 1-0 lead, and that one is drawn over to Busby. He'll try the double play over to Proctor, over to first, and Hyannis turns it, but Chatham is able to score 1 run off of the single by Gardner, and after Palomaki reached to third off a stolen base to end in error. So we'll see how Hyannis does. Their first at-bats coming up here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0 lead here for the Chatham Anglers. And Parker Wriggler will be on the mound here for Hyannis. They have met before, but Wriggler came in as a relief pitcher. And now he'll be in his 3rd start. While being on Cape, he'll face Brett Netzer, Ford Proctor, Zach Rutherford, Jordan Rogers, Dylan Busby, Cody Henry, Chris Hudgens, Carl Stadjuar, the DH, and Peter Zyla, the right fielder. As his first pitch to the lefty, and that one drops in the inner half to Netzer for strike one.
And interesting to see Carl Stadjuar, a designated hitter tonight instead of Este, to get that righty versus lefty matchup instead of Este, who has struggled mightily against left-handed hitters. He only has 3 hits against them this year, but Brett Netzer has struggled even more. He's 0 for 19 against left-handed hitters.
Sits at an 0-2 count, but he lifts that one over the hopping glove of Aiello. And the broadcast jinx works in many ways, and that time
In a great way.
it works in a way for Brett Netzer, and he gets a leadoff base hit.
In a great way. First time for everything up here, and Netzer gets his first hit off a left-hander.
So after Chatham gets a leadoff man, Hyannis finds one as well. And defensively we'll go here for the Chatham Anglers. Behind home plate will be Jordan Romero. Sean Bouchard at third, John Aiello at short. First pitch catches the corner of Proctor for strike one. Followed by Jake Palomaki at second. And Jeremy Vasquez at first, and left to right in the outfield, DJ Artist, Stuart Fairchild, and Patrick Mathis. Proctor lines that one right past the glove of Palomaki. Netzer stays at second, but 2 base hits for the Harbrox, and they're in business here in the bottom of the first.
And they love hitting against Chatham. As we mentioned earlier, Proctor now 4 hits in 8 at-bats against Chatham. And Zach Rutherford, boy, he's the exact same way. 3 for 7, 5 runs scored, 2 doubles, a home run, and 3 RBIs against the Anglers.
Rigler deals the first pitch, and that one is down low to Rutherford. He'll have to face Hyannis' 3 all-star starters in Rutherford, Rogers, and Busby.
And those 3 hitters, Gabe, they're all hitting above 333 against left-handers.
1-0 pitch, fouled into the netting by Rutherford.
As Rutherford, he hits the best out of those 3, hitting 353 against them. 5 doubles and 1 home run to tag along with 5 RBIs.
Rigler looks over, and he will reset on the mound as he stares Netzer back. Hyannis, we mentioned the 3 All-Stars that are coming up, and they have the 3 in the bullpen as well. As the 1-1 pitch to Rutherford is inside, kept in front by Romero. Chatham only has 2 All-Stars, both as reserves, one a pitcher and Isaac Matson, the other in Gunnar Troutwine, the catcher. And then they have Patrick Mathis, but he is solely in the home run derby. 2-1 pitch, and Rutherford fouls it in the same direction to the netting, and he'll sit with a 2-2 count.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of look across the board, and the only guy that you see who's made an impact so far is Tanner Gardner, but he's only played in 8 games so far this season. The pitching for Chatham has struggled a lot as well.
Fouled once again by Rutherford as he stays alive in this at-bat. 1-0. Chatham leaves no outs, bottom of the first inning. And Hyannis already threatening. In this inning, the clouds are starting to reform here at McKeon Park. Rigler, the lefty, deals inside down low. Romero keeps it in front of him on the third base line. And it'll be a full count here for Zach Rutherford.
And for Chatham, you think that maybe Hagen Owenby would be in the conversation as an all-star who's in the home run derby at Omaha, but he's only played in 10 games.
Rutherford lifts that one into right field, moving over, and making the catch is Mathis, although Netzer will have no shot at making it to third after the strong arm throw by Mathis. 1 out, and no one moves for Hyannis on the base paths.
But I mean, that's what you're going to get when, your team is in last place. You're not going to get many All-Stars, you see that on the end for Katuitt. They don't have a starter in the game. They only have 2 All-Stars, 1 pitcher and 1 outfielder, Quinn Brody and Eddie Mull, who has been fantastic. Both of them have been. But a similar situation for Katuitt and Chatham, who they look to get out of the cellar before the All-Star game. But I really only think that that's possible right now for Katuitt, because they've been very hot as of late.
First pitch drops and misses the corner in the lower part for Jordan Rogers. Rogers batting .267, 17 runs, 20 RBIs. Second on Cape. Rigler, 1-0 pitch is flied into right field, but it is leaning foul. And they're going to say it just goes foul over the yellow post by Rogers. And he almost had a 3-run shot there in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, just slices it down the line a little bit. Couldn't get a hold of it. Just to the right of the foul pole.
Rigler stares at Netzer, who takes a huge jump, and that one is lifted into center field, moving back and making the grab is Fairchild and Hyannis. 2 flyouts, but none of them can move the base runners over, and they still have 2 men on and now 2 outs.
Well, I mean, both Rutherford and Rogers got good pieces of it, but again, just right at the right fielder and the center fielder. And now 2 outs. We'll see if Dylan Busby can get something stirring here. As Busby has been good with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, and 11 at-bats, is hitting .273. He's got 5 RBIs as well. However, the man on deck, that's who you want up with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Cody Henry. He's done most of that, though, from the left side in the recent time, but he will go from the right if he gets an at-bat in this inning. That one swing and a miss, lost by Romero, and both base runners for Hyannis will advance, so now both are put in scoring position. Still 2 outs, though, and an 0-1 count for Dylan Busby.
And Chatham, they lead the league in errors. That has plagued them. They'll mark it down as a wild pitch, but nonetheless.
Line foul by Busby, and he sits with an 0-2 count. Rigler with an opportunity to avoid any damage in this inning. His team leads 1-0. 2 men on, both in scoring position for Hyannis. 2 outs, bottom of the first. Rigler kicks and deals, and Busby fouls it off and stays alive.
And Rigler coming off his best start of the season at Harwich. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, struck out 3.
The 0-2 pitch once again from Rigler. That one is lifted into shallow center field, moving over, and not being able to make the grab is Fairchild. And 2 runs will score for Hyannis. It's a 2-out, 2 RBI single for Busby, and Hyannis takes the lead 2-1.
And, you know, that's unlucky for Rigler. He made a great pitch there, but Busby fights it off. It was in on the hands, and he flies it into shallow center field. Good hit from Busby. Great work to get contact on the ball at least and put it in play, try to make something happen. And he does make something happen. Hyannis, they get 2 runs out of it.
Now 11 RBIs for Busby on the season, and he will immediately go and try for second, sliding in, and gets called out, caught stealing at second. But Dylan Busby does his job at home plate. He puts 2 runs across for Hyannis to give them the lead of 2-1 as we head to the second inning here at McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the second inning, and a 2-1 lead here for Hyannis after a 2-out, 2 RBI single by Dylan Busby. He was then, although, caught stealing at second. So Patrick Mathis, participant of the Home Run Derby, will step in here. He'll be followed by Sean Bouchard and Jeremy Vasquez. Gonzalez, first pitch, misses outside.
Yeah, Mathis with 6 home runs this past season at Texas with 35 RBIs as well, so he's got a lot of pop.
1-0 count, and he lifts that one right into right field. Zyla moving over, and he makes the catch for the first out.
Yeah, the ball just kind of died off the bat there. I mean, Mathis put a great swing on it, but didn't go anywhere.
One quickly away here for Gonzalez, as he allowed 2 hits in that first inning. But Palomaki reached all the way to third and was able to score off of a stolen base and an error by Hyannis. Off the RBI single by Tanner Gardner, the DH. And now Sean Bouchard steps in. And he gets a short chopper to Busby at third, scoops and fires, and there's 2 quickly away.
Yeah, interesting is Bouchard and Patrick Mathis both have the second and third highest averages against Hyannis. Both hitting .333 against the Harbor Hawks, but Chase Pinder getting the day off today, who's hitting .278 on the season. He's got 3 hits against Hyannis, their best hitter against the Harbor Hawks.
Fastball misses inside to Vasquez. Only his 11th game up on Cape as he hits that one upstairs by Gonzalez. Vasquez out of Florida. 6 of 34 so far with 6 strikeouts. 1-1 pitch. Drops in the corner, but Gonzalez doesn't hit the strike zone. It'll be a 2-1 count. Two-one pitch, check swing, but Vasquez does not go, and it'll be a 3-1 count. Gonzalez deals, and that one's tipped into the leg by Vasquez, and it'll be a full count. 2 outs, 2-1 lead for Hyannis, top of the second inning. Clouds have reformed here around McKeon Park, although not as dark as they recently were before. Gonzalez kicks and deals, and that's a short chopper over to Henry. He takes it and will run it in himself. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Harbor Hawks as they hold that 2-1 lead, heading to the bottom of the second on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealthcare.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Bottom of the second inning, 2-1 lead for Hyannis. As it'll be Cody Henry, Chris Hudgens, and Carl Staduar for the Harbor Hawks. And Cody Henry will get one of the very rare opportunities he has to bat from the right-hand side. Takes the first pitch, and it's a slow, dead chopper over to first. Flipped on over, and making the tag was Vasquez to Wriggler, and they put one quickly away against Hyannis. So Henry not exactly what he was looking for. First at bat in the right-hand side in quite a while. Takes the first swing. Looks like it hit at the top of the bat and did not die quickly enough for him to have a chance at first base. And now we'll see Chris Hudgens step into the right-handed batter's box. Chris Hudgens batting 241. 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and a miss upstairs by Wriggler for ball 1. Wriggler deals, fouled, and back behind Hudgens. And it'll be a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Hudgens, he's gotten a lot of starts recently behind the plate. Definitely can understand if he's tiring a bit. It has been a hot weekend, too.
He fouls that one right near the Chatham bullpen, and he'll sit with a 1-2 count.
A little cooler here tonight, but still very humid.
This time you have a slight breeze, as the flag in center field is moving to the left side. Parker Wriggler stares on in, but time is called by Hudgens at home. Wriggler allowed the 2 runs scored in the first inning. 1-2 pitch, popped up into the air, but it moves backwards, and Hudgens stays alive. Allowed the 2 first base hits by Netzer and Proctor. A wild pitch moved them both over to their respective bases, and then a 2 RBI single by Dylan Busby with 2 outs has given Hyannis their 2-1 lead. Wriggler misses on the outside half for a 2-2 count to Hudgens.
Yeah, and Hudgens, he's been doing well this weekend so far. 2 for 9. Combined the Friday and Saturday game.
Hudgens gets a short grounder. Getting on his knee is Bouchard. Fires it over to first, and there's 2 away.
But it's definitely taxing on a catcher when you're catching 4 or 5 games straight, not getting a break, and the heat has just been turned up a little bit here on Cape Cod.
2 outs now, and Carl Stadjuar, the DH, will step in. Wriggler deals, foul tipped by Stadjuar.
Stadjuar still struggling mightily. He's had 2 hits since July 1st. But he's also getting his first start since Wareham. First start in the lineup. It's tough when you're not consistently in there.
A 1 pitch, gets a short chopper, running in and grabbing it is Aiello. Makes the throw over, but missing the grab is Vasquez at first as he tries to do a semi-split with the knee on the ground, but he can't make the grab, and Stadjuar reaches with 2 outs.
They're going to mark it down as an error, and again, just Chatham leads the Cape in errors, and just another one of those flaws that is really going to hurt you in this losing streak. I mean, got to be able to retire that out and put the inning away.
First pitch, and that one is flown out into left field. Artis getting under it, moving over still, and he makes the catch for the final out. So the error does not hurt Chatham, but they still are at a 2-1 deficit as we head to the 3rd inning here at McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the third inning, 2-1 lead for Hyannis. John Aiello, DJ Artis, and then back to the top of the lineup, Jake Palomaki. As Aiello will step into the right-handed batter's box, batting 164 as he gets a chopper that goes foul on the third base side. 25 strikeouts and 12 hits for Aiello, playing shortstop today for Chatham.
Yeah, lowest qualifying batting average on the Cape.
0-1 pitch, drops in there nicely for Gonzalez.
Gonzalez has really cruised through that second inning.
Swing and a miss into the glove, and down goes Aiello on 3 strikes. And first out of the inning and the second strikeout for Gonzalez.
Man, Gonzalez just doesn't really even have to do anything special on the pitch selection there. Fastball, gets that curveball away, gets Aiello fishing.
So now DJ Artis, lefty, will step in the 9 spot. Takes the first pitch and called for a ball as Gonzalez misses on the outer part. 14 walks for Artis and 16 strikeouts. But the off-speed hits upstairs for Gonzalez for a 1-1 count.
And Artis led off against Hyannis in the last game they played. Was 1 for 4.
Same spot, fastball by Gonzalez and a 1-2 count.
But everything else was a flyout from Artis.
In the dirt. He has 14 walks here, but only had 8 total in his time at Liberty. 2-2 count, misses upstairs. 249 at-bats and only 8 walks.
Yeah, that's not good. But you can see already in this at-bat, he's just being patient, hasn't swung the bat yet. He's just laying off pitches that he doesn't like.
And he gets looking inside there by Gonzalez. He gets the second strikeout of the inning, this one via looking, and there's 2 away in the inning.
And I don't know about that pitch. It was a little bit inside for me, but again, Artis he's got 18 walks and limited plate appearances, and he's just being selective about what he's going to swing at, which is what you look for. I mean, that's good. That's a good plate approach against these pitchers.
Same pitch gets called for a strike by Gonzalez to Jake Palomaki, who has scored the lone run here for Chatham. Gonzalez fires in, foul tipped into the backstop, misses. Hudgens, he wasn't even expected to come back that far, and it'll be an 0-2 count.
Yeah, and interesting that Palomaki wasn't an all-star. He doesn't have the numbers to show for it. He's hitting .211 after he hit a really tough streak. But first half of the season, he was on fire. He was Chatham's guy.
Grounded to Rutherford at short, but flies it over the head of Henry, and they just can't seem to keep Palomaki off the base paths, and he reaches with 2 outs.
And again, that's not a good thing. Palomaki is probably the most dangerous man on the base paths for this Chatham A's team. But, just going back to the all-star thing, doesn't have the numbers, has really struggled. He had a cold streak, but so is this entire Chatham A's team. But if anything, Jake Palomaki, he's got the tools that you're looking for in this all-star game. He's got the tools that scouts are looking for.
Swing and a miss by Fairchild. And it'll be called for a strike. And, when you look at the East, when you look at all sides, it's hard to put as enough players for everyone. You're going to have people that are going to be seen as snubs as they do a pitch out to try and catch Palomaki. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Orleans has 4 starters because they've just been tearing the league up.
But I'm saying you could talk about for Hyannis, Ford Proctor. He had a legitimate shot at it. But with other shortstops and second basemen.
Well, yeah, Cole Freeman out of Wareham is the starting second baseman. And Ford Proctor has had a great season, but Cole Freeman has been Wareham's go-to guy. He is the guy down there. And Proctor, he also has 1 more year. He's only a freshman. He's going to be a sophomore next year, so he's got 1 more year with Hyannis, and he'll definitely be, if he does what he has next year, this year, next year, then he's going to be great. So
1-2 count for Fairchild. Gonzalez deals, and that one is fouled away. I mean, you could also make the case for Harwich. Do they take one pitcher out and maybe put another position player in? But I think the thing that people who don't know much about the All-Star game have to kind of learn about, part of it is also for the players to get seen by scouts, as that's a swing and a miss, and down goes Fairchild. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Andrew Gonzalez, and he still holds his team to a 2-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-1 lead here for Hyannis as they head back to the top of the lineup. Brett Netzer, Ford Proctor, Zach Rutherford. Netzer's second at bat against Rigler, as he immediately rips a shot right to the Chatham dugout, and everyone avoids that one as it flies in there to the netting down low. Netzer, though, in his first at bat, a base hit, and reached on a wild pitch and then ended up scoring from third base after that's where he reached from the wild pitch. And then he advanced after the Proctor single as well, who stands in the on-deck circle. Gets a short chopper. That one is called just foul. And that was very close. That one looks like it might have hit the line.
I think we would have seen the chalk.
That one was very close, and it would have had to been a tough play to make by Vasquez. But that's where you need some of those cameras there to look at the shadow. Did it drop on that line? It's an 0-2 count, though, for Netzer. Parker Rigler deals, and Netzer stays alive with the foul ball.
And where Netzer's got himself in trouble against left-handed hitters is he's been trying to pull the ball against them. I mean, he is a pull hitter. He's a strong kid. But you saw in that first at-bat, he went with the pitch and went the other way. We'll see if he can do that here.
Lines that one once again, but a little further away from the Chatham dugout. Stays at an 0-2 count.
Just early on everything that's coming out of Rigler's hand.
Rigler stares on in, shakes off a couple of pitches, sets at the belt, kicks and deals, and that one way in the dirt early in ball 1 called. Rigler, once again the pitch. Breaking ball drops in there on Netzer, and he catches him looking for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it was a good at-bat by Netzer as well, but Rigler just drops in the curveball. Nothing that Netzer can really do about it. He didn't read the pitch out of Rigler's hand, was frozen up by it. That's just a great pitch by Parker Rigler. You got to tip your hat to him.
So now here is Ford Proctor stepping in the left-handed batter's box as the lefty in Rigler has dealt with the first lefty in Netzer, who got a base hit off of him in the first inning. He will try the same here against Proctor, but he misses way outside off the glove of Romero.
And Rigler, I mean, this Chatham team, they have not, pitching-wise, they've not been great. And if there's one bright spot, it is definitely Parker Rigler, who only has given up four earned runs, on the season. This is only his third start, however.
That one is launched into right field. Moving back is Mathis at the wall. Hops way over. But it's a home run, a solo shot for Ford Proctor with one out here. And Hyannis leads it 3-1.
Wow, Mathis got kind of close to that. He propelled himself off the banner, but first home run for Ford Proctor. And you know what? We've seen it in batting practice a lot. Off the bat, Proctor has got low-key a lot of pop, and we just haven't seen him. We just haven't seen him project a ball like that before. But great work from Ford Proctor.
So he is now 2 for 2 against the lefty in Rigler. And his first home run. And you could kind of see that's what Netzer was trying to do, turn early on it and try to get that same home run. And I will admit, Mathis tried to be Spider-Man there and make that grab.
He almost did. He almost made it, to be honest.
Missed outside again by Rigler, 2-0 count to Rutherford. 3 home runs for Ford Proctor while he was at Rice.
And he's got pop. He's just a contact hitter, line drive, top of the lineup guy.
2-0 count to Rutherford. And that misses upstairs for Rigler.
For most of the season at Rice was hitting in the 2 and 3 spot. Dropped as low as 5 in the order, but was a contact guy through and through. But that's the thing, is he has this isolated power.
3-1 count for Zach Rutherford.
But that's the special thing about Proctor's. He knows what kind of player he is. He knows he's not going to hit home runs all the time.
In the dirt, and Zach Rutherford works a walk here with one out in this bottom of the third inning after a solo shot into right field by Ford Proctor.
The next man for Hyannis, the right left fielder from Tennessee, number 2, Jordan Rogers.
So now here is Jordan Rogers. He'll step in, and he can also hit it out of the park as well.
Well, there's two guys following Rutherford. 3 guys, as Henry is right there. I mean, you look throughout the lineup, and everybody has got some pop. Netzer has a solo shot this year. Zyla is really the only guy that you look at, and you're saying, all right, we're going to go singles right to left. But, I mean, even Carl Stadjar, he's got 2 home runs on the season, even though he's hitting a $127. Hudgens also has 2 home runs. Cody Henry has displayed a lot of power.
Rigler kicks and deals, and that one is a grounder in the glove, but they says it goes foul, says home plate umpire Jeff Alexander.
Made the right call.
Hopped over the third base bag. Would have been a tough play for Bouchard. That's 2 times now that Hyannis has had close calls on the lines on third and first, which would have cost deadly for Chatham. 0-2 count here for Rogers. Rigler deals, and he takes a piece of it, does Rogers. That one he thought was going to drop in earlier, but it leaves it outside, and he'll stay at an 0-2 count. Blue sky is trying to peek through here at McKeon Park as Rigler tries to make a slight throw over to first to keep Rutherford close. 0-2 pitch, and that one is a base hit down into left field by Jordan Rogers, and he gets on base, and now 2 aboard for Hyannis.
And that's just a great display of athleticism from Jordan Rogers because he didn't know the pitch off the hand of Wriggler. Kind of was fooled. He just throws his hands at it and knocks the curveball that is skirting inside on him into left field. Didn't put a good swing on it at all, just threw his hands. Nice work from Jordan Rogers to keep this thing alive.
Now here comes Dylan Busby. Still 1 out, bottom of the 3rd inning. Hyannis a 3-1 lead. The pitch from Wriggler misses upstairs and outside. No warm-ups going on right now in the Chatham bullpen, so Wriggler is on the island alone for the remainder of this inning at least. Next pitch is way in the dirt. Romero, it gets past him, but he's able to corral it enough to keep Rutherford at second. It'll be a 2-0 count.
I don't think he did corral it. I think it hit off home plate home plate umpire Jeff Alexander. As Alexander is a little shaken up back there. Romero got lucky.
Wriggler continues to stare on in, now sets and stares, but Busby calls time at home. They'll do it again. Wriggler deals, and Busby pops that one into the air. Romero moving back near the netting. He looks over, and that one just over the netting. The netting kind of pops out from the brick wall, but it just slides under it, and Romero can't make a play on it.
I wonder what happens if he catches that ball, even though the ball is on the other end of the netting. Guess it's out of play, yeah.
Wriggler continues to stare at second, deals the pitch, and Busby lifts that one into right field. Moving back is Mathis, still moving over, and he trips over in the dirt. It will be foul, but Mathis had a chance to get under it, but he extended himself too far, and Busby stays alive with a 2-2 count.
I mean, tough play for Mathis. He makes the long trek into foul territory. But not, I don't know. Yeah, overran it. I think that Mathis just may have lost it in the gray skies. I mean, that one was hit pretty far up there.
Wriggler sets once again, deals to Busby. That one in the dirt. Romero keeps it in front of him. No one still advances for Hyannis, but Dylan Busby works his way to a full count.
Good work from Romero the back there. He's been busy. As when Wriggler has missed. He has missed badly.
Full count, still only 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hyannis leading 3-1. Parker Wriggler deals, and Busby lifts that one into right field. Mathis moving over. He won't be able to make a play on it. Makes the throw in. No one advances to home as Rutherford stays at third. It's another base hit, though, for Hyannis in the inning. And now the base is loaded for Cody Henry.
Yeah, great work from Busby. Goes away with it. The high fastball that was outside, he just takes it that way. And this is a guy that you do not want to see up at the plate with the bases loaded. Hitting 400 on the season when the bases are loaded. He's got 4 RBIs.
Time will be called here for Chatham as they will meet on the mound to discuss with Wriggler. But still, no motion at all, except for a slight people stadium just starting to stretch for Chatham. But he will have to face Cody Henry here, who will be in the right-handed batter's box, the side that he has 2 of his home runs on this season.
Yeah, Henry, he's been better from the right side or the left side, just because he's been getting way more at bats. But against left-handed hitters, he's hitting .241. He's got 7 hits on the season. And you mentioned 2 home runs, also 2 doubles against lefties.
First pitch, swing and a miss down low by Henry. Infield not really moved in that much for Chatham. They do kind of motion in a little bit at the end, but trying to go for that double play to end the inning. Wriggler deals again. Stadjuar fouls that one on third base side.
And now Henry's just got to put something in the air here. Doesn't want to roll into a double play with the bases loaded.
0-2 count for Cody Henry. Wriggler deals, and Henry stays alive as he fouls that one away.
Now notice where Henry is setting up on the plate. He is all the way up in the batter's box. I mean, usually you see guys dig in right on the end of it, but
he
his
is
back
way
foot,
inside.
His back foot is right on the line, and it's even with the back of the home plate.
0-2 pitch, called for a strike and gets Cody Henry looking, and the second out is down for Hyannis, but they still have the bases loaded.
Yeah, and that's tough. Cody Henry was not expecting the fastball from Wriggler there. Just catches him guessing, and now it's going to be up to Chris Hudgens.
Hudgens grounded out in his first at-bat. He also has 2 home runs here on Cape.
But he struggled with runners in scoring position, only hitting .200.
It's a first called strike by Wriggler, who finds himself in another opportunity to escape an inning without damage. He had that in the first, but was unsuccessful in it. 0-1 pitch, lifted into right field. Mathis isn't going to get there. Gloves it. 1 run will score in Rutherford, and another will score in Rogers. And another 2-out, 2 RBI single this time for Chris Hudgens, and Hyannis leads it 5-1.
Great work by Hudgens. He just gets his barrel on it, pokes it out into right field, and with 2 outs, that is a big hit for Hyannis here, who now lead it 5-1.
Dylan Busby makes his way all the way to third. Rutherford and Rogers scores the 19th run for Rutherford and the 18th for Jordan Rogers, as that one right near the helmet inside of Carl Stadjuar for ball 1. Wriggler throws over to keep Hudgens at first.
Hyannis has really gotten a Wriggler this inning. They've hit him around.
Stadjuar, though, fouls that one back into the netting off the post. And he'll stay at a 1-1 count here for Wriggler. Osprey flying over right field. Wriggler kicks and deals down low in the dirt. A delayed steal by Hudgens, but they're going to not get him as he kicks the glove out of the hand of Palomaki, but he is down at second base.
That is a tough play for Palomaki. You never like to see that, but I mean, great call from Gassman. My only critique of the play is that Hudgens needs to recognize that he's going to get thrown out there. I mean, if Palomaki holds on to that ball, Hudgens is dead out at second. And on the opposite end, Busby, he's got to take off right when the throw from home and Romero happens.
So Dylan Busby is able to score off of the double steal, delayed steal really by Hudgens. But if he's not able to kick that out of the hand of Palomaki, he is clearly out at second, and the inning ends. But now they are checking on Palomaki. as they'll look at his hand. Stadjuar will remain here, but Hyannis now with the other run, they make it a 6-1 lead here. 4 runs have come across for them. And the trainers still looking out here at Palamaki, but he will stay in the game for Chatham after taking a long look at him. But
Well, his wrist just got caught up in the slide. I mean, he didn't get the handle on the ball, and then Hudgens just slid in right on it. You saw him lose the ball.
sun shines through a little here. Wriggler. A 2-1 count here, and he'll deal to Stadjuar, who checks his swing as it misses down low. It'll be 3 balls and 1 strike to the New Mexico Lobo.
And Wriggler, he's done well when he's gone ahead of hitters. I mean, you see Cody Henry strike out looking. Netzer earlier this inning also had the strikeout.
Misses upstairs, and a 2-out walk dealt for Carl Stadjuar, and 2 men once again on for Hyannis.
But each of those strikeouts has come when Wriggler has gone ahead of his hitters.
The next batter for Hyannis. The right fielder,
And he's only thrown
number 5,
a first pitch strike to one of the 4 hitters in Proctor, Rutherford, Rogers, and Busby who have reached base.
And now he is getting some help out in the bullpen as multiple warm-ups are occurring for Chatham. But he'll be left to try and finish this inning without allowing any more damage. Hyannis has put 4 runs across in this inning alone to give themselves a 6-1 lead, 7 hits for them. And it all started with the solo shot by Ford Proctor into right field.
And Wriggler, he had Rogers and Hudgens both at 2 strikes. And he could have avoided this inning, but he left fastballs hanging over the plate.
First pitch off speed drops into Peter Zyla. Wriggler, the 0-1 pitch, and Zyla gets a short chopper grounded into the glove of Aiello, makes the throw, and actually he does not. He holds on to it. Peter Zyla reaches on an infield single, and the bases are loaded once again for Hyannis with 2 outs.
Yeah, high chopper. Zyla's quick out of the box, has some speed, and Aiello had no play anywhere.
center field from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Number 9, Brett Netzer.
And now Brett Netzer, who started this inning striking out looking, he'll get a second shot in this inning to put another dent in the struggles for Parker Wriggler.
Been through all 9 batters now.
First pitch to Netzer, and he puts a lot into it, but it goes foul.
Yeah, Netzer continues to show that he struggles when he gets a high pitch. I mean, pops out a lot. He kind of has an uppercut to his swing. And you'll see when somebody pitches, when he knocks a pitch that's down the middle or low, he tomahawks it.
Does the same kind of swing there, and it flies over the crowd, and he'll sit with an 0-2 count.
And he's just got to stay balanced. You see him leaning back at the end of his swing. He's stumbling out of the batter's box. He needs to keep his feet under him, stay balanced, and drive it the other way. Like his first at-bat, which was textbook lefty versus lefty hitting.
Wriggler sets at the belt, deals, and that one is going fair on the first base line. Chris Hudgens will score easily. Coming in is Carl Stadjuar as well. A 2 RBI double for Brett Netzer with 2 outs, and it's 8-1 Hyannis.
And Gabe, now 5 runs have crossed with 2 outs in the inning. And Brett Netzer, great work from him. You see him just simple 2 strikes, hit a ground ball, put it in play, make something happen, and he ropes it down the line on the inside fastball, and that's going to be it here for Parker Wriggler.
Andrew Scheffner stands out, and he makes the point to the bullpen as Parker Wriggler does not escape the 3rd inning. 8-1 lead for Hyannis, 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd, And we'll step aside here for a pitching change on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Still 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Parker Riggler's day is done, but he will be replaced by one of the few All-Stars for the Chatham Anglers in Isaac Matson out of Pittsburgh. And he will step in here to face a hot-hitting Ford Proctor. 10 hits in his last 6 games, had that solo shot to lead the scoring here for Hyannis.
He's been hitting .471 in his last 5 games.
Peter Zyla at third, Brett Netzer at second after scoring 2 RBIs. Matson misses upstairs for ball 1.
And Matson, in his ninth appearance this year, has only given up 2 earned runs all season.
1-0 pitch, lifts that one deep into left field, moving back, still looking, reaching and making the grab is DJ Artis, and he ends the nightmare inning for the Chatham Anglers, but Hyannis comes out and puts 6 runs across in the inning. They lead 8-1 as we head to the 4th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. We finally reached the 4th inning of play here at McKeon Park after Hyannis put 6 runs across in the bottom of the 3rd. They lead 8-1. Andrew Gonzalez could have took a nice power nap during that time, and he misses outside for ball 1 to Tanner Gardner.
Well, he wasn't taking a power nap. He was warming up. He was keeping warm over by the bullpen. He was throwing with his hoodie on.
Misses upstairs once again by Gonzalez. Gardner, the DH, has the lone RBI for Chatham in the 1st inning. 2-0 by Gonzalez, and he misses down low. 3 quick balls to Tanner Gardner in the leadoff at bat here in the 4th.
And this is what you dislike when you have a pitcher resting for that long. You get a big inning, and then your starter is sitting on the bench for half an hour. That gets out of his rhythm a little bit.
Throws across a strike to Gardner. Gonzalez from the bell deals, and Gardner fouls that one off on the first base side.
But again, you see Chatham, they get themselves out early against Hyannis. This is what happened. This is what has happened against this is what has happened against Hyannis the last 2 games.
In there, and it does not get called for a strike for Gonzalez, in a leadoff walk for Tanner Gardner here in the top of the 4th.
I mean, last night, YD, they scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings of play. So it's just a continuing theme for Chatham as they give up these leads early. They can't crawl out of them.
No outs here in the top of the 4th. Romero now at bat. Gonzalez deals, and he's swinging a miss, and a foul by Jordan Romero for an 0-1 count. As Gonzalez leadoff walk here to Tanner Gardner, the DH. And now Jordan Romero, the catcher, stands in, takes a big hack at the off speed by Gonzalez, and it'll be an 0-2 count. Sun trying to peek through for its last time here in the late evening, and that one is fouled on the 3rd base side by Romero. And Gardner was running on the play. But the lights are turned on here at McKeon Park now. And Gonzalez sets at the belt, stares in and fires, swing and a miss at the off-speed pitch by Romero, and the first out of the inning for Hyannis. And now the 5th strikeout for Andrew Gonzalez in his short amount of time pitching at this time. 1 out now in the top of the 4th inning. And Patrick Mathis steps in now, part of the home run derby for Chatham. Gonzalez hits inside for a strike on the upper corner.
Yeah, and that's been a subject of debate with home plate Jeff Alexander and some of these left-handed batters who have gotten called on that strike on the inside half.
This is on the lower corner, though, and it'll be a 1-1 count. Mathis. Flow out to right in his first one, and he gets a chopper over and escapes into center field, and he'll reach base with 1 out, and now 2 men aboard for Chatham in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, and that was the overshift. Proctor was nowhere near second base. Usually you see the middle infielders pinch in when there's 1 out, try to turn a double play, but Proctor was shaded way over to first.
Sean Bouchard steps in. 2 men on, 1 out for Chatham. They trail 8-1. Gonzalez deals, and Bouchard slightly went around, and he fouls it off.
Call guessing.
Gonzalez sets once again at the belt. The pitch hits upstairs for an 0-2 count to Bouchard.
Bouchard grounded out to third in his last at-bat. Would not be the worst thing for Gonzalez to induce a ground ball here.
He fans at a grounder over to Rutherford, played a second over to first, and they are not able to turn the double play. So it will be runners on the corners for Chatham with 2 outs in the 4th.
Close. No cigar.
The next batter for Chatham. The first pitch,
So Bouchard reaches on a fielder's choice. Gardner reaches over to third after the leadoff walk. And now Jeremy Vasquez steps in, takes the first pitch down low for ball 1.
Falmouth Commodores leading Katuitt 3-0 in the 9th inning now. That one at Lowell Park.
That one misses down low once again by Gonzalez.
Bourne leading Brewster 6-0 in the 7th. And Wareham leading Orleans 1-0 in the 7th inning. That one at Eldridge Park.
Fastball misses upstairs and another 3-0 count dealt here to Jeremy Vasquez.
The only one that really, I mean, you could see Brewster break through 6 runs in the last 3 innings, but the one that you're concerned about, I guess, is Wareham if they can keep that 1-0 lead over Orleans. I mean, here in Hyannis, the Harbor Hawks continue the way that they do, and they should sure up the win tonight, but you never know.
Miss upstairs, and Gonzalez walks the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Hyannis is trying to chase both Wareham and Bourne right now, who are both once again tied for second at 29 points. Hyannis at 26, so still a game and a half out on both of them. So Hyannis looking for one of those teams to lose for them to keep on pace. Gonzalez, first pitch to John Aiello, hits upstairs for strike 1.
Aiello has been decent with runners in scoring position.
Swings and misses at that one and sits in an 0-2 hole.
He's got 5 RBIs with a 217 average, but he's 0 for 4 with the bases loaded, and he's only hitting 143 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
Gonzalez, the 0-2 pitch, just misses outside in the corner for ball 1.
Good curveball on the outer half. Thought he would get Aiello swinging. He got him swinging on that last pitch in Aiello's first at-bat.
1-2 pitch. Hopper up to Rutherford, scoops it and steps on second, and he'll put away the Chatham Anglers after they threaten with the bases loaded, but no runs come across, and Hyannis still leads 8-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the fourth inning.
Fourth inning for the Harbor Hawks.
Zach Rutherford
Number 15, Zach Rutherford.
will step in here, followed by Jordan Rogers and Dylan Busby. First pitch from Matson misses outside. Rutherford a part of the scoring in that third inning as he walked and then scored a run later on in the inning to help Hyannis get to their 8-1 lead that they have. 9 hits, do have 2 errors. Only one of them has been costly that allowed the run by Palamaki in the first. Matson misses upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rutherford coming in today batting .314, 18 runs, 11 doubles, and 17 RBIs. Swings and misses at the fastball for strike 2.
And Matson has been the best arm out of the bullpen for Chatham this season, by far and away.
Misses in the dirt and a full count for Rutherford.
And he just kind of needs to eat some innings here for the Anglers. He's the best guy to go to if Chatham wants to get back in this one. He's pitched in pretty much every tight game that Chatham has had this season, but here just eating innings.
Rutherford pops that one into the air. Romero moving back, and he stops as it goes out of play. A sub-1 ERA for Isaac Matson. In 8 relief appearances, has a save, 19 and a third, 17 hits, 2 walks, and 17 strikeouts.
He also has 2 wins on the season, which is big. Pretty much he's pitched in every 1-run game that Chatham has had this season. He's also pitched in a couple of 2-run games.
Still a full count here for Zach Rutherford. Matson sets at the belt. Deals in, and Rutherford fouls it off and stays alive.
Rutherford does not have a hit tonight. Drew a walk in his last plate appearance, came around to score.
Payout pitch once again, and Rutherford foils it as well.
Doing a really nice job staying alive in this at-bat. Matson is pumping across fastballs inside and out.
The bat boy is gathering up these foul balls right now. Had 3 in his hand.
They got him running around.
Another payoff pitch, and this one is flown out. Moving over is Vasquez, still ranging, and that one goes out of play. And Rutherford having a duel right now with Matson.
And he might have another duel with him in the All-Star game. We'll see. We'll see if the stars do align. Rutherford starting. Matson probably coming out of the bullpen. I don't know if we'll see Rutherford for that long, unless Matson's maybe the first guy out of the pen.
In the dirt, and Zach Rutherford works a lead-off walk here in the bottom of the 4th.
His second walk of the game. Only 8 walks on the season now for Zach Rutherford. Who has struck out a lot more than he has walked this season. Was the opposite at Old Dominion, where he walked more than he struck out. But he's got 30 strikeouts this season, only 8 walks.
So now here's Jordan Rogers. The first pitch is way upstairs by Matson. Rogers a single in the 3rd inning. Was later scored by the 2 RBI single, and he lifts that one into left field, moving back and looking as that one turns just foul. As Artis was watching that one was long gone off the bat of Rogers. He just needed to pull it a little bit into left field.
Yeah, just was way early on the fastball inside. Matson knows not to go there anymore.
The righty deals, and that one is fouled to the netting by Rogers. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Busby, I don't know if maybe he wants to be a ball boy because he always seems to go out there to chase these guys.
Natural reaction. He's the only guy really from Hyannis that takes over that job.
Matson. 1-2 pitch. That one is lifted into left center field, moving back, and that one drops at the warning track. Turning is Rutherford at third. He will be waved in home, and it'll be an RBI double to lead things off for Rogers, and it's 9-1 Hyannis. So another RBI put on the board and another run scored for Hyannis. They've scored a run in every inning except for the second. And they continue to put it on here against the Chatham Anglers, and this one against their all-star in Matson. Now the 21st RBI for Jordan Rogers, and he only trails Colton Shaver by 1 now for the Cape League. Matson gets a swing and a miss by Busby upstairs. And another double for Hyannis as they came in today with 56. And that one they have already 2 tonight. Off-speed misses down low. And it'll be a 1-1 count here to Dylan Busby. Matson sets once again. Righty deals, swing and a miss by Dylan Busby, and he'll sit at a 1-2 count.
Rogers put a great swing on that ball. Inside fastball, lifted it. Matson made the mistake of going inside on him again.
Matson deals, swing and a miss, and the bat flies out of the hands of Dylan Busby. He will retrieve it and return to the dugout, and the bat boy getting the best of him. He goes and retrieves his bat and will bring him back. And it's the first out of the inning and a strikeout swinging by Dylan Busby. I mean, I know the kid's just trying to do his job, but that's as ironic as it gets.
Yeah, that's great.
Rogers still stands at second. And that one is lifted and hops right into the glove of Palamaki. He will throw over to first for the quick second out as Rogers makes his way to third.
Cody Henry, who has just been smoking the ball lately, being silenced here a little bit tonight. 0 for 3.
That time was on the left side against the righty and Matson. And now here is Chris Hudgens, who helped really push some runs across for Hyannis. 2 RBI single with 2 outs. Had a stolen base that helped Dylan Busby score, and he gets that in the same direction to Palamaki. He makes the throw over to first. And 2 quick ground outs to end the inning, but Hyannis puts 1 more run across after an RBI double by Jordan Rogers to score Zach Rutherford, and Hyannis leads 9-1 as we head to the 5th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the fifth inning, a 9-1 lead for Hyannis. As it'll be DJ Artist, Jake Palomaki, and Stuart Fairchild for the Anglers. And Gonzalez drops in an off speed inside to Artist for strike one. Lucas Gilbreth warming up. 0-1 pitch is lifted and is going to drop fair play as Zyla's going to have to reach out to right, spins around and throws in to Proctor at the cutoff, and a leadoff double for DJ Artist to start the fifth inning.
Zyla was playing incredibly shallow there. I don't know what that was about. He was not in position. Shaded way in and towards center field. We've seen Zyla out of position a couple of times now out in right field. Not his usual position that he plays during the year.
Back to the top of the lineup. Palomaki lifts that one into left center field. Moving back is Rogers, not able to make a catch on it. Artist is going to turn from third. He will score easily. And it's an RBI for Palomaki, and they make it 9-2.
Back-to-back doubles from Chatham, as they're not ready to go down quite yet.
So as mentioned, Lucas Gilbreth is warming up in the Hyannis bullpen. And we'll see how long manager Gassman will hold Gonzalez. Stuart Fairchild steps in and takes the first pitch, strike down low by Gonzalez. No outs still in the top of the fifth inning. Palomaki now stands on second. DJ Artist has scored the second run, and that one is a short grounder, gloved by Busby. He makes the throw over, but it is called foul.
Just flicks his wrist at the end of it and shoots it all the way to first, too. I don't think that he would have gotten Fairchild at first, but nonetheless, very athletic play on the no play.
0-2 count for Fairchild. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Gonzalez stares on in for the call from Hudgens. Sets again at the belt. Deals, and that one misses outside in the dirt. Then it'll be a 1-2 count to Fairchild.
And Fairchild 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts on the day. He has been quelled by Gonzalez so far.
Gonzalez deals, and Fairchild stays alive after he fouls that one off behind him. Gonzalez. The pitch, and that one is roped, but goes foul on the third base side by Fairchild. Gonzalez will try once again. Deals, swing and a miss down low by Fairchild, and the first out is away for Chatham.
3 strikeouts swinging from Stuart Fairchild. Gonzalez has his number so far.
Tanner Gardner now will step in. He has reached base both times he's been at bat, a single and a walk, and has an RBI as well. Before this inning was the lone RBI. Gonzalez, the first pitch, and that one is flied out but fouled by Gardner. Way over the heads of the bullpen of Chatham. A 1 pitch in the hands, but called for a strike on Gardner, and he'll be in an 0-2 hole. Gonzalez sets at the belt, deals, and that one is lifted, but right into the glove. It went off the ground, though, for Proctor. He'll have to make the throw over to first to put the second out away as Polomaki makes his way over to third.
Yeah, good work from Proctor. Good hands. Stays low with it. And after getting rocked around a bit from the first two batters in the inning, Gonzalez gets Fairchild and Gardner. Now just needs to get Romero here with 2 outs.
Here's Jordan Romero. Takes the first pitch. A grounder hops right into the glove of Rutherford, gathers and throws, and he puts the final out away. Chatham does put 1 run across to make it 9-2, but then leave another man stranded as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning from McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa, a time you'll always remember, a place you'll never forget. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Bottom of the 5th inning, a 9-2 lead for Hyannis as Chatham finds a way to put a run across in the top of the 5th. Isaac Matson deals the first pitch to Carl Sajor, who fouls it back into the netting. It'll be Peter Zyla and Brett Netzer following behind Stajuar. Matson deals, hits the lower corner for an 0-2 count to Stajuar. Stajuar's reached base both times in his at-bats, reached on an error, then walked and scored a run in the 3rd inning. 0-2 pitch, checked his swing. They'll ask if he went. He did not, and it'll be a 1-2 count. Matson kicks and deals in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Stajuar. Matson stares in, sets at the belt, deals, misses outside, and Carl Stajuar works his way to a full count.
Yeah, good patience from Stajuar. He held up on that high fastball in that 0-2 count, and now sees 2 more balls come across.
Lifts that one high into shallow left field. Artis moving in, motioning around, and he makes the first out of the inning.
He gets under that, and you just got to get a flat swing on it instead. I mean, it's a pitch down the middle that he can easily drive out in the left.
So now 1 out, and Peter Zyla, the lefty, will step in. Matson deals, and Zyla fouls it to the brick wall. Zyla reached in the 3rd off of an infield single and went all the way to 3rd, but was left stranded there after the 6-run inning by Hyannis. The 0-1 pitch by Matson, and he flies that one right in to the Hyannis dugout.
Hole in one.
And the bad boy is going to retrieve it in the Hyannis dugout. That's dedication. Matson deals, and that one's lined right back past his glove by Zyla, and he'll reach base with a one-out single.
Peter Zyla picking things up here in the second half of the season as he's been given that starting role out in right field, and he's been hitting the ball really nicely. That's his third multi-hit game now on the season. His 4-game hit streak ended yesterday as he was 0 for 4 against Falmouth, but tonight, 2 hits once again.
1 out, still in the bottom of the 4th. Matson deals and hits for a called strike to Brett Netzer. Netzer 2 for 3 today, single and a double, 2 RBIs and a run scored. The pitch from Matson, inside, but called for a strike and an 0-2 count for Netzer. 11 hits for Hyannis. And they have a 9-2 lead. Bottom of the 5th inning. Matson an 0-2 count. 1 out as he sets and deals. And that's a broken bat, but escapes the glove of Vasquez and trickles out into right field. Zyla turns but stays back to second. And it'll still be only 1 out and 2 men on here for Hyannis. So Netzer having himself an evening. He is now 3 for 4. But he is joining a lot of Harbor Hawks who have done well this evening. And now Ford Proctor, who is one of those other Harbor Hawks, steps in. He is 2 for 3 as well. Single and a home run, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Matson, first pitch, swung upstairs by Proctor for a strike. Another warm-up going on for the Chatham Anglers. Matson. 0-1 count. Deals to Proctor. He lofts that one into left field as Artis moving back and makes the catch for the second out. So now 2 outs, still 2 men on. And now Zach Rutherford. He will step up. He has scored 2 runs, but technically only has 1 official at-bat, where he flew out to right in the first inning as he's walked his 2 times recently at-bat, but has scored both of those times. Matson deals in the dirt, kept in front by Romero. Time is called as a ball trickles out near Chatham's side right from the bullpen. Matson deals and hits upstairs by the hands of Rutherford. He moves out of the way for a 2-0 count. Before it was Lucas Gilbreth warming up, then Tristan Barlow, and now Coley Bowers warming up for Hyannis, as that one is a broken bat and a blooper over the glove of Aiello. Trickles out, turning in and scoring easily will be Peter Zyla. So it's an RBI scored here for Zach Rutherford, and it's 10-2 Hyannis. And so now 2 runs and an RBI for Rutherford. So he came in today with 18 runs. He now has 20 and 18 RBIs, and still 2 men on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And that one done with a broken bat as well. Matson deals and hits for a strike to Jordan Rogers. A 1 count. Matson, a huge off-speed pitch, but does not turn ever into Rogers. Then it'll be a 1-1 count. Netzer over at second. Rutherford at first. Matson, the righty, deals, and that one is lifted into right field. Moving back is Mathis at the warning track, and he makes the catch running into the fence. And that'll retire Hyannis, but they put another run across via Peter Zyla and an RBI for Zach Rutherford, and that will do it here as we head to the 6th inning of play. 10-2, Hyannis leads on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Top of the 6th inning here at McKeon Park, a 10-2 lead for Hyannis as the new pitcher in Lucas Gilbreth comes in. Cameron Este comes in defensive relief. We'll get you the number and the batter on that pinch hitter in just a moment, but now it's Jeremy Velasquez. Vasquez is 0 for 1 on the evening. He walked in his last plate appearance as Barlow works a 2-0 count, the left-hander. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's upstairs. And now we'll see the new catcher in Ricky Smith, who was recently picked up by Hyannis, come into the game as Chris Hudgens will take a seat. Ricky Smith making his first appearance here on Cape Cod. Out of Merrimack College, a Division II school. The 3-0 pitch from Barlow is way upstairs, almost hits Vasquez in the head. But the bases are loaded here in the top of the 6th inning. Tristan Barlow struggling to get that first out, and now will be John Aiello up at the bat. As Coach Ray Korn will come out and talk to Barlow after he has struggled through the first 3 hitters here this evening.
And it's also a little bit difficult when you talk about Barlow having to come out here and having to throw to a new catcher in Ricky Smith. This is his first time catching, so I think that's part of the variables that you add here to Barlow, who's also a freshman himself. So while he also hasn't had as many opportunities to do, he also now has to be given an opportunity with a new catcher and have to feel it out really quickly, which is why they were put in this situation with a 10-2 lead. But if you're Gasman, you don't want things to get out of control as early on as it is, but allow Barlow to give some time to work on his stuff as he is only a freshman.
Tristan Barlow making his 7th appearance here on the Cape. He's pitched 6 1/3 of an inning, giving up 8 hits on 8 earned runs. He has walked 5 and struck out 4, and now he'll face John Aiello, who was 0 for 2 on the evening. He struck out and grounded out to short. His last at-bat came with the bases loaded and 2 outs, but here, a bases loaded and no outs situation as he fouls the first pitch off. Hyannis jumped out early to a 9-1 lead as Chatham and Hyannis both traded runs in the 5th inning. And now Chatham looking to get them back here. A good opportunity to against the lefty in Tristan Barlow, the freshman out of Mississippi State, as this next pitch misses low for a ball. It's a 1-1 count. John Aiello out of Wake Forest University. Just finished up his freshman year. Previous to that, at Germantown Academy, where he started for 4 years, played on Team USA with Chris Cullen. As he swings at this next one, it's popped up into foul territory. Goes Cody Henry. He's under it, and he'll make the grab. So Aiello goes down for the first out of the inning.
And that's the best way you can do it there for Barlow. Pops it out in foul territory, and Cody Henry easily gets under it, and that's how you put 1 out away. And I think that's for him. I would think for Andrew Gasman, he'll allow him to go even if he does put a couple of runs in for Hyannis, because he needs these opportunities to kind of learn, especially as a freshman and not starting at all or even appearing at Mississippi State.
Here's DJ Artis, a left-hander. Takes the first pitch strike from Barlow. He doubled in his last plate appearance, smacked one into right field. Zyla misplayed it. He was not in position. But nonetheless, Hyannis with one hit this evening as he swings through the good curveball from Tristan Barlow for strike 2.
I mean, this is what Barlow can show you. When he has his fastball hitting well, he can use it and go to his other pitches and really get guys fooling.
Barlow comes set. The 0-2 pitch to Hyannis. It's up. Hyannis really hugging the plate on the left side. Hyannis, 2 RBIs with the bases loaded as he swings at this one, chops it up the middle. Rutherford can't handle it, and he'll have no play at any base. It'll be an error for Zach Rutherford, his second of the game, and a run comes in for Chatham to make it 10-3.
And to me, I feel like that's Rutherford trying to think he can make the play at second and knowing it's going to be a tough play, so he's kind of doing what every athlete always does at points. He tries to prepare before he even has the ball in his glove. He thinks about making a second. Ball isn't in his glove yet, and he bobbles it a little. And then it kind of goes into a panic where he has to try to get the throw over to first, and then he can't make the throw over even to first base.
Jake Palomaki will step in this time in the right-handed batter's box. The switch hitter has been batting as a lefty all evening. Bases loaded and 1 out for Chatham here in the top of the 6th inning. Barlow kicks and fires the 1-0 as this one misses way outside, and it will be a 2-0 count to Palomaki, who's 2 for 3 on the night, has reached base all 3 times. As Palomaki he reached on the error from Rutherford back in the 3rd inning. Doubled in his last at-bat from the left side. As Barlow comes set, here's the 2-0 delivery. It's smacked right into center field, a base hit. 1-1, 1 run will come around to score, and that will be it. It's a 10-4 ball game. Bases are still loaded for Chatham here in the 6th inning, and Tristan Barlow really struggling to get that second out.
Yeah, and what really hurt him was that Rutherford's not even able to make 1 play, or 1 out, in that last attempt where he was trying to go for the double play, and that kind of hurts you a little bit as a pitcher because then you have to still work with 1 out, and you're still trying to move guys around here. But at the very least for him, he's not allowing them to score in major bunches right now. He's only limited to 1 run on each hit, but he still has to find a way to get this second out.
First pitch, Stuart Fairchild smacks it into right. That will land and hit the fence. It'll be extra base for Fairchild. 1 run comes around to score, and so does the second in DJ Artis. 2 runs come across. RBI double for Stuart Fairchild, and suddenly it's a 4-run ball game here at McKeon Park. And that will be it for Tristan Barlow as Chad Gassman marches out of the dugout. He's seen enough. 4 runs cross here in the 6th inning, as this was not a game headed into it. But now Chatham has life with 2 runners on in scoring position and only 1 out in the inning. We'll have another pitching change here at McKeon Park. We'll step aside for the moment, a 10-6 lead for the Harbor Hawks, but Chatham fighting their way back here in the top of the 6th. You're listening to Harbor Hawks Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the 6th inning, another pitching change for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, as the Chatham Anglers have scored 4 runs here in the top of the 6th off of 4 hits, an error, and 1 walk given up by Tristan Barlow, as the new pitcher will be Coley Bowers in his 4th relief appearance on the season. Bowers will face Tanner Gardner, who swings at the first pitch, grounds it to short. Rutherford comes up with it. The throw has got to be quick to first, and he'll make the out. 1 more run crosses the plate, and it's a 10-7 ball game. 5 runs now in the inning for Chatham, and what was once not a game that Hyannis, they just needed to cruise through the rest of this game, has suddenly become a tight ball game, a 10-7 lead now for Hyannis.
And hey, if you're Coley Bowers, you pitched well, you wanted to find yourself in an opportunity. Of course, you didn't want to come after one of your guys in the bullpen struggles, but it shows Gassman's gaining more trust in him. He's giving him an opportunity to get him out of this inning and allowing as little damage as possible.
Here's Jordan Romero. First pitch is a called strike on the 2-seam fastball. Good movement from Bowers, who's pitched in 2 2/3 of an inning here on the Cape. Although his last outing pitched an inning in the 7th where he gave up 2 runs, 1 of them earned on 3 hits, excuse me. As he works a 1-1 count here to Jordan Romero, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Grounded to short in his last at-bat. Runner on third for Chatham. This pitch is way upstairs in the head of Romero. Fairchild standing on third. He knocked across 2 runs with that monster double into right field. 2 outs here in the 6th. Bowers pitches the 2-1, misses outside. And it'll be a 3-1 count to Jordan Romero. Romero sets in. Bowers gets the sign. Here's the 3-1 delivery. It's upstairs, and it's a 5-pitch walk here with 2 outs in the inning. Runners on the corner now for Chatham. As Bowers still trying to work out of a jam that was created by Tristan Barlow. 5 runs have crossed the plate in this inning alone. As Patrick Mathis, who led off the inning with a bunt single, he will come up to bat his 2nd time here in the 6th. First pitch is low, almost hits on the outside half, but not quite. Mathis 2 for 3 this evening. This one is fouled off over the press box.
I mean, Bowers, we've seen his stuff, and he's shown great use of his off-speed and his fastball in times that he needs it. And before, he's always pitched with a pretty sizable lead for Hyannis, but now he's put in a spot where if you want to move up the ladder, these are the spots you got to work through.
1-1 pitch. This one is popped up. It will stay in the infield. Rutherford calls everyone off. He'll move over, and he'll make the grab. But Chatham, they strike back here in the 6th. They are not out of this ball game. 5 runs come across for the Anglers, and it's a 10-7 ball game headed into the bottom half of the 6th inning. You're listening to Harbor Hawks Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 6th inning, pitching change for the Anglers. It will be Mitch Zubrat in his first appearance out of K-State. Teammates with the starter tonight in Parker Rigler, as Dylan Busby will lead things off against the right-hander from Kansas State. The first pitch is low for a ball, as Busby really looked that one in. Busby 2 for 3 on the day. Struck out in his last plate appearance. He came around to score in the 3rd, as this next pitch strikes on the inside corner. It's a 1-1 count. 5 runs coming across for Chatham in the top half of the inning, as they just exploded against Tristan Barlow. They did get help, though. An error from Rutherford proved costly. Zubrat sets at the belt. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Busby fouls it off left side.
Yeah, and Zubrat coming in with a 3.42 ERA, 26 1/3 innings pitched, the 245 batter average against, 31 strikeouts, 9 walks, and 25 hits.
Zubrat works the 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses on the inside corner.
And now this is the big thing for Hyannis. Now that Chatham has come back, you have to continue to keep fighting in these innings. I know it's kind of, at this point before, you were just going to sit back maybe a little.
Big swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch from Zubrat. Busby goes down swinging for the 2nd time this evening. 1 out here in the 6th.
But the thing you have to do, I'm not saying you have to score a major amount of runs, but you have to keep swinging the bats and making contact to not fully give the momentum to Chatham, because Chatham has clearly taken a large part of it in that inning alone. So that's something you don't want to do if your Highness is just relinquish everything you've gathered up to this point.
Here's Cody Henry hitting from the left side once again. 0 for 3 on the night. 2 ground outs and a strikeout looking, as James Harrington warming in the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks. Could be the 7th and 8th inning guy, as Henry swings through that one. It's a 1-1 count.
But we do get to see our first opportunity at Ricky Smith and what he can try and do here for Hyannis as the second catcher with Hudgens.
Ricky Smith standing in the on-deck circle as Henry lifts this one into left field. Artis should have no problem as he puts away the 2nd out of the inning. And now will be Ricky Smith's first turn here on Cape Cod out of Merrimack College Division II school. He was playing in the Cranberry League this past summer when Chris Cullen was unfortunately sidelined, and Coach Gassman needed a backup catcher. Smith was hitting .470 in the Cranberry League before he came up here. Was smoking balls in BP today, as he gets the first offering from Zubrat, who misses low at the knees. 1-0 pitch is inside.
Yeah, I mean, he's a sizable guy when you look at him. Very comparable to Hudgens. Hudgens probably a little bit bigger than him, but we'll see how he does this. He looked pretty good in BP, as you mentioned, and what better way? I mean, you put him in here because you had a larger lead at one point, but it gives him an opportunity to try and help the cause, only leading by 3 now.
3-0 pitch is at the knees for a strike. Smith saw a limit of action this year at Merrimack. Hit .226 as he takes ball 4 here in this at-bat. Works a 2-out walk in the 6th inning. And now will be Carl Stadjahar's turn here against Zubrat.
And that'll work. If you're Smith, of course, you want to try and get a hit in your first at-bat, but get yourself a walk and you just extend this inning for Hyannis to try and give them a little bit momentum back after that struggle of an inning in the top of the 6th.
2 outs here for Hyannis. First pitch from Zubrat is a strike to Carl Stadjar, who's 0 for 2 on the evening with a walk. Came around to score back in the third inning, where Hyannis exploded for 6 runs. 10-7 ball game here at McKeon Park. And Stadjar fouls this one straight back, and quickly the count moves to 0-2. Stadjar only 2 hits in July. Trying to work his way out of a slump. Very tough to do when you're not in the lineup every day. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Stadjar gets under it, floats it into center field, and that will land for a base knock. Carl Stadjar getting his first hit of the evening here with 2 outs in the 6th.
And this is what I was talking about for Hyannis. Whether you score a run or not in this inning doesn't exactly matter, but you don't go down just 1, 2, 3 in order. You fight against the new pitcher, you get some contact, you get a walk by the new guy in Smith, and you get guys on, and you just keep telling Chatham, we're still here, we're still around, we're not just going to sit back while you continue to push your way back up the scoreboard.
Peter Zyla swings at the first pitch. He chops it over to first as Vasquez is there to put away the third and final out. Hyannis, they strand 2 here in the 6th. We'll move to the 7th. It's a 10-7 lead for the Harbor Hawks as James Harrington will enter the ball game to finish out hopefully the last 3 innings of play here at McKeon Park. Hyannis trying to hold on to this 3-run lead. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Third baseman Sean Bouchard to lead things off for Chatham. Jeremy Vasquez on deck and John Aiello in the hole as Chatham batted around in the 6th inning. When they tacked on 5 runs to turn this game into a ball game. As for Chatham, it's been the story of coming back from behind all season. Only 11 wins on the year. James Harrington, the new pitcher, gets a first pitch strike to Bouchard, who's 1 for 3 on the evening. Singled in his last plate appearance and came around to score. As Harrington kicks and fires the curveball, this one is mashed into right field. Should be extra bases. Bouchard is around first. Out in center, Netzer picks it up and fires it into second, but not in time. As Sean Bouchard picks up his 2nd hit of the day, and it's another leadoff man aboard for Chatham.
Yeah, and Chatham is coming out firing. They're finding extra base hits everywhere. They're finding runs to score. And you feel bad because when you're in a game like this early on, you want to try and throw your other guys here and give your big guys a rest. But there's no way Manager Gasman can allow that to happen. You have to throw in one of your guys here to keep this at the game that it is right now, or at least until your team scores a couple more runs.
First pitch to Vasquez is a strike. Harrington pitched last night against Falmouth, gave up a 2-run shot in the 8th inning, which capped a 4-run 8th inning for Falmouth. They won the game 7-3. Harrington kicks and deals. It's another fastball and another strike.
But the one good thing you talk about is Harrington, after what you just mentioned from yesterday. I think he wants another opportunity before the All-Star break, and he'll probably get another one, but he wants one immediately after to show that what happened yesterday was just kind of like a little off day for him.
0-2 pitch is way outside. It's off the glove of Smith. Works its way back to the brick backstop as Bouchard will advance 90 feet, and a runner on third now with no outs in the inning here in the 7th for Chatham. And Harrington's first 2 earned runs given up last evening. He comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a curveball. It's smacked right back up the middle. A base knock for Jeremy Vasquez. One more run comes across, and it's a 10-8 ball game here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and this is where you got to start looking for Hyannis. I mean, now it makes things difficult because you put in Ricky Smith now. He's in for the long haul. And so now this is where the new guy has to learn things a little more quickly than you're accustomed to him doing. Learning what everyone does, because you take out Hudgens thinking that your guys are at least going to keep it a far enough away game, but it's all changed now. I mean, Harrington, while as good as he is, he has to throw and learn a little bit about his new catcher in Smith and where everything works. So the communication may not be exactly there as it's been for Harrington when he's been throwing and having the performance that he is when he was announced an All-Star.
Coach Raycorn coming out to talk to Harrington. As we've seen Harrington struggle here on the Cape, he struggled in his past appearances where you saw Chad Gassman pull him early before damage could be done. Last night, however, was not the case as he came in relief of Matt Naylor and gave up a 2-run shot, got out of the inning. Naylor also giving up a solo home run in that inning. But we've seen Harrington struggle before. Now, teams seem to be tacking on runs, however, as they're keeping him in. As with runners in scoring position, hitters are batting .429 against him. And with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, batters are getting .667. So you can see that the numbers are not in his favor.
No, but I feel like a lot of times, like, the game against Falmouth was probably one of the very first times that he had guys in scoring position. Because before, he did not allow an earned run close to up to that point when he was announced as an All-Star. And that's why he got that call to be there in the first place.
Aiello shows bunt. He checks for it. It'll be a called strike.
So I think part of it was that Falmouth, and the numbers might be slightly inflated because of that. But like I said, this is one of your guys. This is what people have been writing about how good he can be from the bullpen.
Aiello shows bunt. He gets it down. Harrington is there over to cover second as Proctor, and they'll get the out at first. As Vasquez advances to second, 1 out now in the 7th with a runner in scoring position for the bottom of the lineup. DJ Artis and Jake Palomaki due up here in the 7th inning. They have done some damage today so far against Hyannis.
And now this is what you just have to work for Hyannis. You have to just find ways to get a couple more outs. Because now at this point, this is no longer a point where you can stand back if you're on offense. You have to start swinging the bats and get some more runs. Because Chatham has found their fight now. They've smelled blood in the water, and they're coming back.
7 of the runs for Chatham have come past the 5th inning. As Harrington kicks and deals it to grounder, gets through the hole right side. They'll hold the runner up at third. But now runners on the corner. Second base hit of the night for DJ Artis, and the top of the lineup and Jake Palomaki coming up, who already has 3 hits this evening.
Yeah, and things are turning real dark for Hyannis right now. They just can't find any sort of hope defensively. Chatham is really just putting it everywhere that their defense isn't.
Palomaki batting from the left side once again. He's got hits from both sides of the plate this evening as Harrington misses on the outside corner with that 2-seam fastball. Garrett Cave already warming up in the bullpen, lightly tossing. This is Harrington's inning with runners on the corner and one out here in the 7th. Ground ball, but chopped foul first base side. Henry will come up with it. The Osprey flying over the field as it has been all evening. Don't know if that is an omen or if that's a bad sign as Chatham has clawed their way back here. And they're threatening once again with the runner in scoring position. Throw on to first is not in time. Artist slides back safely.
And I know Harrington wants to keep Artist close at first to try and induce a ground ball and a double play opportunity, but I think at this point you just need to concentrate on the guy in front of you and try and get it out here.
Pitch is way outside. It's a 2-1 count to Palomaki now. It's Palomaki hitting 167 with the runners in scoring position. But so far tonight, he's knocked in a couple of runners already. 3 hits on the evening. Harrington misses this one outside, and it's a 3-1 count to Jake Palomaki with 2 runners on here in the 7th inning. Stuart Fairchild on deck. He doubled in his last at-bat. That brought home 2 runners. Harrington with the double move will throw over to first. Vasquez sits on third. Artis on first. The tying run in DJ Artis at first base and the winning run at the plate in Jake Palomaki. The 3-1 pitch is in there. It's smacked right at Proctor. The diving play over to second for the first out, but there will be no play for Cody Henry at first base. One more run crosses for Chatham, but a great play by Ford Proctor at least gets the second out of the inning here.
That's a huge play by Proctor at second. Diving out there to make that stop. Throws over to second nonetheless and makes that out. I know 1 run scores, but I think you would have to accept that a run was going to score to get another out anyway. But just a amazing play by him at second base to get that second out.
Here's Fairchild. Swings at the first pitch. Harrington gets a strike with 2 outs in the 7th. It's a 10-9 ball game. This bullpen, which has been fantastic throughout the season, has suddenly collapsed in the last 3 games, although Tristan Barlow, who we usually don't see, gave up 3 earned runs, but 4 runs in the 6th inning. 0-1 pitch, misses outside. Fairchild had 20 doubles and 5 home runs this past season at Wake Forest. He has a double tonight. He also has 3 strikeouts to go along with it. The 1-1 pitch, Fairchild checks the swing, but he goes around. And Harrington is 1 strike away from ending this inning, which Chatham has crossed 2 runs. Harrington gets the sign, comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Runner goes. The throw from Smith is in time. Ricky Smith gets the 3rd out of the inning as he catches Jake Palomaki trying to take second base. It's a big out for James Harrington and this Harbor Hawks team, but Chatham, they're 1 run away from tying this one. We enter the bottom of the 7th inning, a 10-9 ball game here at McKeon Park. Stick around. You don't want to miss the ending of this one, as this has turned into quite a ball game here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the lineup due up for Hyannis, as the top 5 hitters have done the most damage here. They've scored 7 runs, and they desperately need to score more if they want to hold on to this ball game, which has suddenly gotten away from them. They still lead at 10-9, but Chatham has charged back. They've scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings of work. As Brett Netzer comes to the plate, has a 3-for-4 day already. Zubrat still on the mound for Chatham. He misses outside. Netzer with 2 singles, a double, and a strikeout. Came around to score back in the first inning. Was the game's second run as Chatham struck first. But he swings through this pitch, and quickly we see a 1-1 count.
Yeah, and now you have to get things going here if you're Hyannis. You can no longer sit back. Not that they're really sitting back before, but you just have to find something going here against Chatham.
Zubrat misses this one low. It's a 2-1 count. Cave is warming in the bullpen. I don't know if we'll see him in the 8th. We could see a 6-out save from Garrett Cave, who has been Hyannis' best asset out of the bullpen, but you could also see James Harrington come in the 8th. 2-1 pitch, way outside.
I think I would hold off for Cave, at least in the beginning of the inning. See how Harrington does coming out and get an actual entire inning of work and work through that and see how he does there, and then you work on how you want to put Cave in.
That one crosses for a strike. It's a full count now to Brett Netzer, the leadoff man here in the 7th inning. The only argument is what happens if Harrington has a similar 8th inning to his 7th, where he gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Swing and a miss from Brett Netzer. Zubrat gets the first out of the inning, and a big one as Netzer goes down swinging, strikes out for the second time this evening, and there's 1 away.
Well, I think you carefully watch Harrington and what he does. I don't think you just let him out there and say, you have to get through this inning. I think you carefully watch him. If he looks like he gets into trouble, then you get Cave ready to move him out there. But I think for how Harrington has been, you give him that 8th inning to try and shut them down and then give Cave the 9th.
Well, Gassman and Corrin are chatting over by the dugout as Ford Proctor comes to the plate. He's had a good day. A solo shot in the 3rd and a single in the 1st. Was robbed of a double back in the 3rd inning after Artis made a fantastic leaping grab to end that nightmare 3rd in which Hyannis scored 6 runs. Zubrat misses outside. It's a 2-0 count. And the only argument is if Harrington gives up a hit or a walk, the tying run is aboard with no outs. Zubrat delivers the 2-0. It's fouled straight back into the screen.
And that's just how I would think of going about it. As much as I trust Cave going, I'd rather see him just go 3 outs than having to get 6.
2-1 pitch. Proctor smokes this one down the right field line. He'll round first as Mathis commits the throw. It hits Proctor, and it bounces into left. Proctor is in there safely with the double. But that could have been costly as Patrick Mathis made a great throw from right field.
Yeah, that one took a weird bounce. It went far off of him. I think it hit his elbow guard, but that's why you do wear when you're running around the Bates pass. But that flew. Good thing Artis was there to make that play, or else if it travels too far, you could see Proctor maybe getting to 3rd. But this is what you want for Hyannis with 1 out. You got your big guys coming up to try and increase your lead now and take back some of the momentum that you've lost from Chatham.
Big swing and a miss from Zach Rutherford for strike 1. Proctor with his 3rd hit of the evening. He is a triple shy of the cycle. Zubrat comes set at the belt. He'll take a peek at Proctor at second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's in the dirt. Good block by Romero. Keeps it in front.
He might have had that triple were it not for Artis' catch.
It was a close play because Artis was right up against the fence. It depended on how far it would rebound.
How it bounced,
yep.
Yeah.
It also would have been a completely different ball game as 3 runs would have crossed. 1-1 pitch. Just inside. Rutherford gets out of the way. You hear some shouting from that Chatham dugout. They like that fastball on the inside half. As Zach Rutherford, 1 for 2 on the day. He's walked twice. And on both those walks, he's come around to score. 2-1 pitch. Grounded to second. Palomaki is there. He'll throw over to first, and there's 2 away here in the 7th. Proctor advances to third on the play as Cameron Este, who came in as a defensive change for Jordan Rogers out in the left, will come up now with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
And now if you're Este, with 2 outs, puts a lot on him, but you need to try and find a way to push this run across and give you some kind of a cushion here against Chatham as you head to the 8th inning.
Este swings the first pitch. It's going out in the left field, and it will drop. RBI single for Cameron Este as he brings in a big insurance run for Hyannis here in the 7th inning. It's an 11-9 ball game now. That's a huge hit.
Major hit for Este. And you've seen now for Hyannis, it's happened with Peters Islet, and it's slowly happened a little with Este when he's given his opportunities. He's found ways to get hits and comes in a big opportunity there. And we've seen it so many different times in any kind of game. That one run could make a huge difference going forward for Hyannis.
It's a big insurance run, to say the least, as Cameron Este has been very hot of late. Now 5 for his last 13 at-bats with 2 RBIs. It's Cameron Este heating up here in the second half of the season with 13 games left to play. As we'll see a mound meeting now for Chatham. They'll talk it over with Zubrat, who's pitched decently so far. He's only given up 3 hits.
And the big thing for Chatham is they've already used their all-star reliever in Matson already. And so while they have other guys that can deal in the pen, it's kind of a weird spot to be in. Normally, if it's all because it's a different game, because you throw Matson out there because you know he can extend the game a little bit. You know he can go in there for a while because that's why you send him in there. But if they have him, it's a whole different scenario. But they have to go to different guys now because normally in this spot you would no doubt go to him. But now you have to find someone else to go in for Zubat because I don't think this is going to be the game for Zubrat.
Rob Bona will take the walk back into the dugout. Zubrat looks like he's going to finish out the inning here in the 7th as Dylan Busby comes up, swings through that off-speed pitch on the inner half.
Was simply, I'm trying to hit this as far as I possibly can swing.
We've seen one of those moonshots from Dylan Busby here at McKeon Park. As Zubrat comes with a fastball in the outside corner, the count moves to 0-2. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Cameron Este stands on first after the RBI single. 11-9 ball game. Zubrat trying to get out of the inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Dylan Busby. 3rd time that he has gone down tonight via the strikeout. And Hyannis, they'll strand one more runner, but a big run comes across for the Harbor Hawks. Cameron Este, in his first plate appearance, knocks in that insurance run. 11-9 ball game. Headed into the 8th inning of play here at McKeon Park. Stick around for the last 2 innings of play here at McKeon. Listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Pretender blares on the loudspeakers here at McKeon Park, and that can only mean one thing. The right-handed flamethrower in Garrett Cave has entered the game here in the 8th inning. As we have talked about, if Harrington was going to come out in the 8th, or if Cave was just going to come in and try to get that 6-out save, and it looks like manager Gaspin and Coach Ray Korn, they trust the right-hander in Garrett Cave to get those 6 outs and get the Hyannis the win here, as it is now an 11-9 ball game. Chatham has crawled themselves back into this game. They've scored 8 runs in the past 2 innings, Gabe, and we have got ourselves a very intense game, highly competitive game now at McKeon Park, as Cave deals a first-pitch strike to Stuart Fairchild, who was at bat with 2 outs in the 7th inning, but Jake Palomaki was caught stealing by Ricky Smith behind the dish for the final out of the inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Cave. This one is flied into right field. Zyla is under it, and he will make the grab at his belt. He almost lost that one, but he grabs it. 1 out.
He's trying to make people have heart attacks out here.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, that was
that
was a close one. It looked like he maybe lost it for a moment, but
he's trying to make Gaspin worry a little bit out there in the dugout.
He hasn't been the best defensively in right field, but he's gotten the job done.
And when you send Cave out, look, this is why I'm not the manager of the team and I'm not making the decisions. But the only thing against Cave, and it's something that you have to bring up.
First pitch misses.
Is that with his fastball, and you have to go 2 innings, you give guys opportunities to learn how fast it's coming in. You give guys to time it well. And that's the biggest thing you have to talk about of sending Cave in to get 6 outs, is that he's probably going to have to go to his curve a little bit more than he normally has to, because if he keeps throwing those fastballs every time, someone is going to get the opportunity to time it up well and hit it far.
Tanner Gardner, the designated hitter, he's certainly used to 95-mile-an-hour heat at Texas Tech. As Cave gets across a strike at the knees, highly debated there, however. 1-1 count to Gardner, who's 1 for 3 on the evening with a walk. This one is low. It's a 2-1 count. As Cave making his 15th appearance here on the Cape. The all-star closer for Hyannis has been lights out. He's only given up 3 earned runs on the season. He has got 7 saves in 12 2/3 of an inning pitched. As the 2-1 pitch is outside, and it's a 3-1 count to Tanner Gardner.
And you know he's trying to stay away from Gardner there, knowing what his power is capable of, but at some point for your Cave, you have to try and get him to swing at stuff.
19 doubles and 3 home runs on the year for Tanner Gardner at Texas Tech. As Cave bounces the 3-1 pitch in. Gardner picks up his 2nd walk of the evening, and he will be aboard with 1 out here in the 8th.
The catcher from LSU.
Jordan Romero
Jordan Romero.
out of LSU will come up to the plate, and Gabe, it is incredibly sad what has happened the past 2 days in Baton Rouge with the police shootings. As LSU located right in Baton Rouge, and we wish all the families and all the victims in that shooting all the best. Here up in Cape Cod, we're thinking about them. Cave delivers a curveball, comes across for a strike, and I can't imagine what Jordan Romero is thinking as he heads back to LSU for his junior season in the fall. Oh, the tension pretty much everywhere in the country now. Cave throws over to first. Kyle Adams stands on first now, as Tanner Gardner was pinch hit for. Big swing and a miss from Romero. It's an 0-2 count now.
And you can see for Cave, he's going a little bit more to his off speed now, knowing that if he puts his fastball in there, some guys are going to get turns around it and get at least fouls off.
0-2 pitch, fastball in the inside corner, just misses. That one looked good. 11-9 ball game here in the 8th inning. Garrett Cave trying to get the 6-out save. He already has one. But there's a runner on first for Chatham. The 1-2 pitch is in the dirt. Pops off of Jeff Alexander, the home plate umpire's shin guard. And now it's a 2-2 count. Romero sets in the batter's box. Cave sets at the belt. Here's the 2-2. Romero goes around on it, and Garrett Cave picks up a strikeout here for the second out in the 8th.
That's a huge pitch for Cave. He goes upstairs in the corner. He forces Romero to think about going for it, and he gets him further enough away. And now you get yourself to 2 outs here, but you have Patrick Mathis still to deal.
Romero breaks his bat in frustration as he is now 0 for 4 this evening with a walk as Cave misses his first pitch low to Patrick Mathis, who's had a good day. 2 for 4 with 2 singles, came around to score back in the 6th inning. Mathis participating in the Home Run Derby on Saturday night at Veterans Field. 1-0 pitch, a curveball that hits on the outside half.
Yeah, and these were all the pitching sessions with Raycorn helps because he can get more comfortable with the off speed, and this is where the opportunities come where you can use it more often.
Another curveball. This one gets away from Cave, misses outside, and it's a 2-1 count. Ricky Smith has been great so far behind the plate. He's thrown a runner out, and Jake Palomaki, fastest guy on this Chatham team. 2-1 pitch from Cave. Fastball hits on the outside corner. As you saw, Ricky Smith, his glove shake around a little bit there. Cave is delivering the heat tonight. 2-2 pitch with 2 outs and a runner on first here in the 8th inning. Cave delivers. It's low. And now Patrick Mathis works a full count here in the 8th with a runner on. Patrick Mathis represents the tying run at home plate. As Kyle Adams stands on first, he walked with 1 out in the inning. Payoff pitch from Cave. Fastball, and this one slices foul. Mathis got a good piece of it, but it ends up in the Hyannis bullpen.
And this is what I'm talking about, the fastball. Guys are catching up a little bit to it. That's why he's going to his breaking stuff more, but I think if you're Cave, you have to try and finish this off with the fastball now that you're at a full count.
We'll do it again. The 3-2 pitch from Cave. This one is chopped up the middle, and it will get through the hole. Adams will be held up at second, and it's a 2-out single for Patrick Mathis, his 3rd of the evening.
And now for Cave, you just got to keep going. Go through the motions here. And you have to just find a way to get another guy. But the longer that Chatham is able to extend, I know Hyannis has another opportunity at the bats, but if you're Cave and you can find a way to get out, right here and right now, it can do wonders when you go into the 9th inning.
Sean Bouchard comes up with 2 runners on and 2 outs in the inning, hitting 167 with runners in scoring position. Bouchard, 2 for 4 this evening with a single and a double. He led off the 7th with the double, came around to score, also scored in the 6th. Tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at home. 2 outs here in the 8th inning as Garrett Cave trying to finish off this Chatham Anglers team. He misses on the curveball on the outside corner. Bouchard in 8 at-bats with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Does not have a hit. As Cave comes across with the fastball, it's a 2-1. It's a 2-1 count now. A 1-1 count, excuse me. Sean Bouchard out of UCLA, entering his sophomore season. Cave kicks and fires the 1-1. It's fouled off the mask of Ricky Smith, who immediately reached back for the ball from Jeff Alexander. Alexander giving him a little break. Smith unfazed.
And now your Cave, you have a 1-2 count. You have a pitch to waste, but you can't really let that curveball hanging unless you really think you can surprise Bouchard right now.
2 runners on, 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Chatham threatening, the 1-2 pitch, a curveball. He got him looking. Bouchard turns his shoulder as he thought it was going to be a little bit inside, but Jeff Alexander pulls the trigger, and it's the 3rd out of the inning here in the 8th. Cave gets himself out of a jam, and Hyannis, they head to the bottom half of the 8th inning, still leading by a score of 11-9. You're listening to Harbor Hawks baseball here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the 8th inning, an 11-9 lead for the Harbor Hawks as Cody Henry will lead things off. Will be Henry, Smith, and then Stajar as they'll face a new pitcher out of UCLA in Moises Seja, making his 8th appearance here on the Cape as he has pitched well in 6 appearances. But in 2, he's gotten knocked around a little bit, including his last one against Wareham on July 6th, where in 3 innings he gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits. 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Cody Henry 0 for 4 this evening. He's been hitless after he's been the best hitter, really, for this Hyannis team in the month of July. He swings at this one, and he knocks it through the hole past the diving Palomaki. A leadoff base hit for Cody Henry. He pumps up his arms, and he high-fives Coach John Stowers down at first as he's happy to continue his hitting streak.
Well, he's happy because he's saying, let's go. Let's get a couple more runs here. Let's try and give Cave as much of a cushion as we can in this inning, and let's do it right now.
7-game hitting streak now for Cody Henry. 4 of those are multi-hit games. And Gabe, if you could name an all-star in the second half of the season here for Hyannis, 100% it would be Cody Henry. No doubt in my mind. He has been the man for Hyannis. As you see Ricky Smith, the new batter, square to bunt. The curveball from Seja misses. Would you agree with that? Cody Henry, the guy?
I think he's done spectacular from the left side. And granted, part of that's going to happen when you're having a lot more of at-bats and opportunities from the left side.
This one misses. It's 2-0 count.
But part of it is also learning what your mistakes are, and he's clearly done better at that. I mean, we talk about how he's had so many more at-bats, but he's creeping up there in the RBIs, and he's coming huge plays for Hyannis when he needs him.
Smith gets the bunt down. It'll be a throw from Seja to first, and they'll get him. He does his job. He moves the runner over. So Ricky Smith, in his first appearance, a walk, a runner thrown out at second, and a sacrifice bunt. That sounds like a team player if you ever needed one.
Yeah, I think you really like what he's done. And, I mean, for Henry,
The designated hitter for the year is soon next.
this is what you need for Hyannis. As we talked about a lot, how you can't always have to rely on the guys that you've been relying on. When we talk about Proctor, Rutherford, Busby, and Rogers, you need to have that other person, other two people that you know that you have the opportunity to count on when it comes to them. And Henry's been that guy.
Here's Carl Stadjar. Seah comes in with a first pitch strike. Gabe, since Cody Henry has faced Chatham back on June 26, where he went 0 for 4, he has raised his batting average from 178 to 245. And he has become the second man on this team with the most RBIs with 18. He has crept his way up the standing. He has single-handedly won 2 games for Hyannis off of RBI doubles late in games. He's been clutch in the 8th inning. We saw him get a leadoff double against Wareham that set up against Wareham that set up the winning run.
And that's my point about him. You're not going to always have the guy that you want up at bat to get you a run. But Cody Henry has been put in that spot, and he's done it for them. And that's just what you want to see for Hyannis.
Carl Stadjar swings and misses on the 2-1 pitch. Moises Seah with 1 out in the inning here. Trying to limit the damage for Chatham. They've crawled their way back in this game. They've scored 8 runs since the 5th inning. The 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss from Carl Stadjar. He goes down on strikes. And now there's 2 away here in the 8th.
Now you got Peter Zyla coming up. You still have Henry sitting over there at second. And, at this point, you have to just continue to extend the game. I mean, you want to try and score Henry, but just keep making Chatham work as much as they possibly can. And if that involves you scoring another run, so be it if you're Hyannis.
First pitch from Seah to Zyla misses outside. Zyla, another multi-hit game. 2 singles on the evening. 2 for 4 on the day. As Cody Henry stands alone at second. Here's the pitch, and Zyla nubs it foul. Just gets a piece of it. Brett Netzer, the leadoff man, stands on deck. 3 for 5 on the day. As the Osprey continues to hawk over McKeon Park, as it has all evening. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Zyla smacks a 1-hopper right to Vasquez. He'll jog over to the bag. 3 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll head to the 9th as Garrett Cave tries to hold on to this one. It's an 11-9 lead for Hyannis. They look to end their 2-game skid headed into this Sunday night ball game against the Chatham Anglers. Stick around to see if they can do it as you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Bottom of the ninth inning. Top of the ninth inning, excuse me. Garrett Cave on the mound. He'll face the last three hitters for this Chatham A's team. Jeremy Vasquez, John Aiello, and then DJ Artis. There's a few defensive changes in the outfield. Gabe, guess who's back? It's Trey Truitt out in center field. We've missed him for quite some time now. As Netzer moves over to right and Treg Habercorn enters the game in left as Cave delivers a fastball that hits on the outside corner to Jeremy Vasquez.
You like the move with Trey. Truitt back into center. Had some time off, and I think his legs are fully prepared to do whatever he needs to out there.
A one pitch from Cave is in the dirt. Smith blocks it. Vasquez 1 for 2 on the evening with 2 walks. Came around to score in his last 2 plate appearances. And that's a big upgrade in center field. Netzer, very athletic, and he's got a lot of range, but Truitt is a true center fielder out there, and he has been fantastic defensively for Hyannis. Cave gets a strike across, and it's a 1-2 count to the lefty in Vasquez.
And you can see he's going a lot more to his off-speed now in Garrett Cave. We'll see what he does with a 1-2 count, though.
Cave kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss from Jeremy Vasquez. Third strikeout on the evening for Garrett Cave, and there's one away here in the ninth.
And, I mean, if you're Cave, I think coming out in that inning, well, part of it, you do it dangerously, but if you can work his way through that danger in that inning and you get to that part, you have an opportunity, but he will not face John Aiello, unfortunately for him.
Aiello was 0 for 4 on the night. He'll be a pinch hitter in Hagen Owenby, the home run derby champion in Omaha. But a home run won't help him here as his team is down 2 in the ninth. The curveball from Cave hits for a strike. As Hagen Owenby out of East Tennessee State has struggled up here on Cape Cod, hitting 120 in 10 games played. 3 of 25 with a home run and 2 RBIs. The pitch from Cave is low at the knees. Those stats are just from Chatham, as Hagen Owenby originally came up to Cape Cod with Katuitt, but was let loose, hitting a .188 with the Katuitt and the Chatham stats combined. Curveball misses low, a 2-1 count now to Owenby.
And I know Cave doesn't want to completely just keep going fastball, but now when the breaking pitches aren't hitting, this is where you kind of have to go to it, even against a power guy in Owenby.
Cave kicks and fires. This one is popped up behind home plate. Smith, he's got a play on it. He's under it, and he makes the grab for the second out of the inning. Ricky Smith has done it all defensively for Hyannis, coming in as a defensive replacement for Chris Hudgens. 2 outs here in the ninth. Garrett Cave 1 out away from that 6-out save. DJ Artis, the last chance for this Chatham lineup, who have so desperately crawled back into this game. They scored 8 runs past the 5th inning. Artis swings and misses on the first delivery. He's 2 for 4 on the day. He's reached base 3 times, once on an error from Rutherford. He's come around to score twice. The 0-1 from Cave, a curveball that misses low. Garrett Cave, the all-star closer out of Florida International, trying to get a win here for Hyannis. He misses this one outside. It's a 2-1 count now to Artis. Busby sneaks in at third to the grass. Henry back behind the bag. The 2-1 is way outside. No one warming in the bullpen for Hyannis. It's all Garrett Cave tonight. 9 runs for Chatham on 13 hits. 1 error committed by the Anglers. 11 runs for Hyannis on 17 hits and 3 errors. The 3-1 pitch is upstairs, and it's a 2-out walk here in the ninth.
And if you're Cave, I know you wanted the 9-spot guy, but just couldn't place his pitches where he wanted. He tried to hit upstairs and get him to maybe swing, but got to work a little bit more here And then you have to face Palomaki, who's heated up and has been pretty hot for Chatham tonight.
3 for 5 this evening against Hyannis. First pitch is low for a ball. Garrett Cave has missed his spots. These last two batters. Palomaki reached on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat, but was caught stealing by Ricky Smith. Has hits on both sides of the plate tonight. The switch hitter out of Boston College. Cave will throw over to Henry, almost overthrows him. Cave comes set at the belt. The 1-0 curveball just misses on the outer half. Cave and Smith both in all that one didn't land for a strike, and it's a 2-0 count. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses low, and it's a 3-0 count now. Tying run at the plate in Palomaki.
And we'll get some score updates going on around the cave. Bourne and Brewster have tied at 6. That on the game. Falmouth has beaten Katuitt 3-0. Harwich takes down YD 11-4. And Wareham gets a 2-1 win.
Fastball misses on the outer half. A 4-pitch walk. Garrett Cave walks the next two batters with 2 outs here in the 9th. And Ray Korn wants to come out and chat with him.
Yeah, I think
you were saying about Wareham.
Yeah, Wareham 2-1 win against Orleans as well.
Big win for the Gatemen.
I like this move by Korn. I think you have to calm down a little bit. Say, look, you got one out. He said, just missing his spots a little bit against these guys. And you have to, in a way, I guess you can work because you just simply walked Palomaki. He didn't get a hit off you. And now you're working with Fairchild, who, except for that double, has struggled this evening. 3 strikeouts and a flyout. But I think Korn, he's always out there, and there'd be huge teaching moments, and this could possibly be one of the biggest ones here for Garrett Cave to get this final out.
Stuart Fairchild comes up with 2 outs and represents the go-ahead run for the Chatham Anglers here in the 9th inning. They have 2 runners on. Garrett Cave walked both of them. He has walked 3 since coming in the 8th inning. First pitch from Cave is a fastball. That hits on the outer half.
And that works wonders. You drop in off speed. That gets called for your first strike. Especially for Cave, getting ahead is always big.
0-1 pitch to Fairchild. A fastball just misses below the knees. Fairchild hitting .294 with runners in scoring positions. In 17 at-bats, he's got 5 RBIs. And with runners in scoring position with 2 outs, hitting .273. The curveball from Cave gets in there for a strike. And Garrett Cave is 1 strike away from ending this game and giving Hyannis a win for the first time in 2 games.
And I think we all know what comes next for Garrett Cave here. 1-2 count. You go to your ace pitch.
Here's the pitch. Fastball on the inside corner. He got him. Strike 3. That's the ball game, folks. Garrett Cave with a 6-out save for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and he proves why he is the best closer here on Cape Cod. 11-9 win for the Harbor Hawks, Gabe. 17 hits for Hyannis, 13 for Chatham, and boy, did it come down to that last pitch.
Yeah, this is wipe the sweat off your forehead, grab your bags, and let's get out of here. Because, man, that was very dangerous for Hyannis. You want to know how Brewster was feeling in that close game? Hyannis got a taste of that against Chatham, and this was what we were talking about before. Chatham was a struggling team, especially on the road, and you had to find a way to get this win, especially Katuitt lost, so you get ahead of them, while everyone else in the West, Bourne tied, but they still get a point, though. But now you only get 1 game ahead of them, so now the points even up. So if you can win a game and Bourne doesn't, you can at least tie them. This is a huge win. Not only that, you were able to hold the line from Chatham's comeback, but you do it when most of the Western teams get a win, and you keep up the pace with them.
Hyannis, they end their 2-game skid with the win here tonight, and like you said, Gabe, it got awfully close, but credit to the Anglers who scored 8 runs in 3 innings of work, all coming after the 5th against a Hyannis bullpen that has been lights out for most of the season, but for the last 3 games, they've gotten knocked around a lot.
Yeah, they found ways to get hits, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, when you send guys out there thinking the score is going to stay a little bit the same, you know some runs might come across, but it changed from – I think this is a good learning experience for Hyannis. You're not always going to blow people out and simply just get the win, so you learn what it means for the bullpen guys, and when you talk about for James Harrington, you learn what it means to come in those spots. You learn for Garrett Cave coming in those spots. I think everything you can take away, especially since you won, all as a learning experience and just another different situation you can see up here on Cape Cod.
Chatham loses their 5th straight game. They drop to 11-19-1. They are last in the Eastern Division. Hyannis, they move up. They're still in 4th place, 2 points behind the Bourne Braves. They're 14-17 now, as they will take on the Bourne Braves tomorrow in a big matchup that could affect the standings. That one will occur here at McKeon Park. Gabe Sustick and Jack Heffer, we will be bringing you that broadcast at 6 o'clock start, and it'll be another head-to-head matchup between the Bourne Braves and Hyannis.
And you know Bourne's going to be looking for some vengeance. 9th inning, they lost that game against Hyannis off of Cody Henry, so they're going to come here, and they're going to try and push themselves up to a 2-game lead over Hyannis. A very big in the division when it comes, especially going to the All-Star game.
11-9, the scoreline here. Hyannis Harborhawks, they win against the Chatham Anglers. A hard-fought win as Garrett Cave gets the 6-out save in the 8th and the 9th inning. For Gabe Sustick, I'm Jack Heffer. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to tune in against the division rivalry, the big division game with Bourne coming here at McKeon Park tomorrow. 6 o'clock start time. We'll see you then. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening.